Yeah, good afternoon, Facebook, and welcome to healthierlife.tv. I have a couple of guests here, Mark and Sarah Louise Robson, obviously married, as you can guess. And do you want to just say hello, Mark and Sarah Louise?
Hello, Paul.
Hello.
Yeah, don't go too bad. Listen, now I've known Mark. I've never met Sarah Louise, but I've known Mark for we work it out, it was 34 years? Around about 34 years?
Wow. That'll be 34 years. 1986.
Wow, that's gone quick. Yeah, we both used to play football together, and I haven't seen Mark for a few years, but basically they are both triathletes. Now, I don't know to what level. We're going to find that out, and but it doesn't really matter because they work their socks off training for events and things like that. So what we're going to do is, what I'm going to do, because I'm my co-producer, I'm not sure if he's coming on or not. Oh, no, he doesn't want to. Are you with us, Warren?
I'm in the show.
Hey!
Yay!
Okay, you're fine for being late.
We
Well, you were late, technically late.
I'll give you 20 push-ups, don't worry.
Okay, so.
I promise you I won't be running any distance, but I'll give you 20 push-ups. Or I'll cycle or swim. I might cycle or do a swim for you.
Anyway, let's get into this. Now, let's speak to Sarah Louise first. How long have you been doing triathlons?
2 years.
3 years?
Literally 2 years. It was probably last weekend was 2 years ago that I did my first open water swim. And probably just before the Christmas of that year was when I started to learn front crawl. I wanted to learn to front crawl because I couldn't swim front crawl at all. I literally did a length and was gasping for air, and wanted to learn because I'd had a prolapsed disc years ago and I wasn't swimming straight. So I went to swimming lessons, learnt to front crawl, and the swimming teacher there is part of Havering Tri, and went, why don't you do triathlon? And up until then I'd sort of turned around and went, oh no, that's like Ironman. And they went, no, you can do other stuff. So I went, okay. So of course carried on with the swimming lessons, did an open water swim, loved it, and then booked my first event, and there I am 2 years later.
So did you start them together?
No, I started first.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then got him into it. But we were literally sat at an airport about to go away for the weekend, and it was about 4 weeks away from our first sprint distance at Eton Dorney, and we were sat at the airport lounge drinking a gin and tonic, and I said to Mark, why don't you do it as well? Like, you can book on. And he went, okay then. So he booked on to the same event. So
without a bike and without swimming open water.
Wow.
Sounds about right. So,
sounds about right.
now, just to clear a couple of things up, Mark and I were both police officers. We were in the same couple of football teams and things like that. And we're now both retired. Mark's doing something else. You work for a local council, was it, Mark? I can't remember.
I've done work with the local council. I did spell in safeguarding with the Premier League, and then I'm back doing agency work within the MPS again, basically taking statements and stuff.
Oh, in the police?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I might be going back. I don't know yet. We'll see. But more on a contract basis. Anyway, yes. So, what's the longest distance that you've cycled?
100 miles.
100 miles.
A bit more, yeah.
About 130 we did on that.
We did probably about 130.
Mercy
but we've done a few 100-mile sportives like Ride London and Velo Midlands, and I actually did 100-mile on the turbo for the Louise Minchin Big Ride In, and that's 100 miles on the turbo is very different to 100 miles on the road.
It It feels like
What do you mean? It's easier or harder?
harder.
Harder.
Any work on the turbo where you're static and you're not like on a road where you can get your bum up off the saddle and move around, it feels like almost double the distance.
Hotter, sweatier.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Was that a long peloton?
It was. I don't know why I chose to do it, but we did it. I did it in 6 hours 50.
Okay.
So, with 10 minutes off the bike, literally a very quick change into new bib shorts. Clap for the NHS carers because that was on a Thursday. Quick wee, and back on again.
What? So okay. So now triathlons normally have 3 disciplines.
Yeah.
The first discipline is the swimming. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how far do you swim, or what's the furthest you swum on a triathlon?
So the triathlon distances are sprint, Olympic, middle distance, full distance. So typically a sprint is quite a short distance triathlon, and you may only do 750 meters swim on that. Middle distance is like your and then there's a jump up to Olympic distance, which is what people would recognise, like the Brownlee brothers competing at the Olympics. The Olympic distance is a 1,500 metre swim. You jump up to middle distance, which is your half Ironman event, 70.3 miles, which the swim on that is 1,900 metres, 1.2 mile.
Mm-hmm.
And then the full distance, which is like everyone knows is like an Ironman, but that's just a brand. But that's your full distance is 2.4 miles or 3,800 meters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you then jump onto a bike.
Yeah, you do the transition onto the bike.
Yes.
And now, are you okay with swimming? Is swimming strong for you? Is it?
Yeah, it's
been a bit different now where we haven't been able to use the pool for 10 weeks or so. So literally last week we managed to get in the lake, swim in the lake for the first time. But swimming, I would say we're Mark's stronger than me. He's got longer arms than me. He's got longer legs than me. So swimming for Mark is a lot easier than it is for me. Yeah, swimming's probably okay.
Okay.
I don't mind the swim. I just see the swim as you just get in, you do it, you get on the bike, and then my race starts on the bike. Because I just do the swim. I don't class it as like part of. I'm not using a lot of energy to do the swim because I'm not using my legs at all. Because when if you're open water swimming and you're wearing a wetsuit, buoyancy is such that your legs are flat out, and so you don't really need to kick them. So if you're in a pool, you're having to constantly work your legs to stay in the right position. But in open water, so many people don't, when they're wearing wetsuits, don't even bother with their legs, and I don't. And I think you swim quicker, just propelling yourself with your shoulders.
Now, do you wear the same clothing all the time?
With a tri-suit, so underneath the wetsuit, you have a tri-suit that's got like the chamois for the bike.
Okay.
So that dries quickly. So you literally take off the wetsuit. You're already in the suit to put on that you can sit on the bike. Some people pull on like another pair of shorts on over the top. Mark generally does. So that you've got a bit of extra padding on the bike for the distance. And then you just got to remember to take them off, haven't you, Ben? Yeah. When you do the run. we did a run in Mumbles and he forgot to take them off.
Over by Swansea, we did a duathlon, and which was like a bike run.
Yeah.
And I'd stuck these shorts on over the top of my tri-suit for the bike, and then went out on the final run and forgot to take them off. So I'm running like with a nappy on, basically. But you learn, you live and learn.
Yeah. So you transition from, normally speaking, because I know they differ a little bit, you transition from the swim to the run.
To the bike.
To the bike, and then obviously, then at the end of the bike run, what sort of distances do you do there?
So the bike on a sprint distance, you're looking at 20k. Olympic distance, 40k. And then there's a massive jump then to like the half distance, which it jumps to 56 miles. And then the full distance, 112 miles.
Bike distance.
Yeah.
Bike, yeah.
And then your run afterwards is either a 5k for the sprint distance, 10k for the Olympic, then it's a half marathon, then it's a full marathon.
So if I was thinking of doing a triathlon,
yeah,
okay, and I wanted to do the shorter one, so we talk about, let's go backwards. So a 5k run.
Yeah.
How long a bike ride?
20k bike.
That's not too bad.
750 meters.
Yeah,
so
that's what we started out
it's
doing.
within everybody's capability.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
To do a sprint
and it's
triathlon.
such an achievement to do.
Do you know one of the reasons I didn't do one was because the first thing I ever saw was a 112-mile bike ride.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
As soon as someone said to me triathlon was, I'd only ever heard of it as Ironman. I didn't know that there was something other than doing smaller distances. Yeah. So I was like, no, that's not for me. And it's like, no. Yeah. And we went to Eton Dorney and we did a sprint distance. And so we did 750 meters in a lake, in the Olympic lake there, where they had done the rowing for the Olympics. So we did 750. It's like a literal out, across and back. Then it was about 6 loops around the rowing lake on the bike. And then two laps.
Kind of like loop things on the run.
And the sense of achievement coming over that line, just having done 3 things that are so different, was then you're hooked.
Well, the thing is, you're using different muscles, aren't you?
Yeah. That's doing something that, it doesn't make any difference how far you do it. After doing that very first one, you're a triathlete.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not really for feeble-minded then.
No, everyone can do a sprint distance. Yeah, everyone.
It's the Ironman. It's the Ironman that is really challenging mentally.
Yeah,
mentally, it's the Ironman.
Well,
it's more mental than anything else.
That's where like so many other things come into play there, and that is mental, and fueling is a really important part of it. Then your preparation and training is just
okay.
But
so
you can do a little bit and then go and set out and do a sprint triathlon. You'll love it.
But people were doing the sprint distance on bikes with baskets, hybrid bikes, mountain bikes. It wasn't about
making me feel better already.
about doing it, not about racing it. So
I'll commit to doing a sprint one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm live here.
Well done, Paul. Well done, son.
Yeah.
Well, let us know when it is.
I mean, look,
let us know when it is, and we will come and support you.
You're my support team.
We will support you
with the spare tyres and all that.
I don't know where you live, but there's quite a few nice local ones sort of around in Essex. There's some nice local ones.
The trouble is you're now preparing for 2021, because sadly all our events this year are falling.
It gives me plenty of time, see?
Yeah. All the hard work and effort.
Yeah. Listen, I get my pension next February. I can't start till I get my pension. So people watch this, they think I'm not serious. If I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. So, but now, what else? Injuries. Okay, how does it work out on your body? Do you pick up any injuries that you can't deal with?
We've not had any injuries doing any of this so far. I had a prolapsed disc last year again. So last year it was sort of curtailed for me. And then
nothing to do with the sport.
No, I've already got bad
degenerative
bones and degenerative, and I've ended up having sort of various injections over the years, various physio management, but I knew it had gone. So I ended up having surgery in November. And so I've been sort of on the road to coming back. So that wasn't an injury, but it was being able to, I've had to build up my fitness again and my strength again. And so I didn't manage to compete last year into 70.3s, which I was hoping to do.
She's flying at the moment. She's like super strong at the moment. It's just a shame there's no events, because she would be able to smash some of the things that she's been like working towards that took away from her last year because of injury. So
no injuries, thankfully.
Yeah.
And, no offs on the bike or anything like that.
And none for me really, because I gave football up this season because of like this year, like moving on to the main events. Like, because last year my whole season was about middle distance, and I did 3 middle distance events as well as like some Olympic distances. But I would say on the tail end of that, my last event at the end of September, I kind of got a bit of an overload on my, what do you call it, the stabilizer tendon that goes down the outside of your foot and wraps underneath. I had quite a bit of swelling there, and I think, you know, it was just like an overloading tendonitis essentially. I've managed to get over. I'm not suffering from it now, so but no problems this year so far.
So okay, so what sorry, what equipment would you need then to do a triathlon?
A bike,
a wetsuit for the swim.
Yeah.
Generally a decent sports watch, one that you can, you don't necessarily need to go heart rate and stuff, but something that you can like do your individual distances and timings on. Obviously bike equipment, helmet, shoes, everything, kit, tri-suit.
Decent shorts on the bike for sure.
And then running shoes. And it sounds very simple, but trust me, once you get into it, you then decide that the kit that you got to kind of like get by with is now
good enough.
Kit.
Everything.
It gets replaced, and then
I remember when I did marathons, it's bad enough buying the running shoes.
You
do end up spending a small
fortune. Because all your events, again, you know, a lot of like last year was abroad, and so you then like booking hotels, you're flying there, and you know it all adds up. Your entry race fees and everything.
Anything small and local, you know, to go to Eton Dorney and just do a sprint triathlon there, or even Olympic distance. You know, you can do that with the sort of the bare minimum. You race, you know, running good running shoes if you're already running. You can pick up a tri-suit quite easily, so you can just sort of do that transition a bit quicker. But people get changed in training. You don't, you know, if you're not worried about your time but just about doing it, you know, you don't have to worry. You just get changed in transition.
I think I probably could sit here and say no, I won't worry about beating anyone, but I think the competitive spirit in me would take over even if I was struggling.
You're racing yourself. You're not racing other people. You're racing yourself. But what you'll
I realise that. I mean, it's the same in a marathon, really.
But what you'll find is you'll then start looking into your age group sections, and the older you are, then you'll probably find it's a narrower field, and then all of a sudden you start getting like really good positions. Because we were in Malta, and I did what was it? Where is it? Super Series. It's Super League triathlon, and it was like a dual aquathon that I did. And my age group, because I'm 53, my age group, I was 52 last October, was the 50 to 54. I actually finished third. Well, I would never have ever expect to get on a podium for like anything that we do with triathlon.
There's only 3 people running.
But so there must have only been 3 people in that.
I was going to ask, did they have to coax spectators to participate as well? Or what?
That's right, yeah. But so yeah, you'll find, you know, you end up in a smaller like group of people, and you know, you might end up winning an event because you're the only one of that age group on the day, you know. So yeah, go for it, go for it.
I'd probably be a little bit more concerned about finishing.
I had that same experience, Mark, with a client of mine who I was training him for triathlons. He's a paraplegic.
Yeah.
So we did a Olympic qualification triathlon in Abu Dhabi, and he was the only participant. He was the only paraplegic athlete there. But,
Brilliant.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. It really was.
Yeah, it is amazing, you know, like, and the camaraderie is second to none.
Yeah.
Like, so last year we did Ironman Vichy, and like a number of the club went over there, and they had the 70.3 on the Saturday and the full distance on the Sunday. And some of us were in one and some in the other. But like, you know, spectator wise, they're all like, you're supporting them, they're supporting you. But just everyone else, regardless of our club, like, you know, we kind of like just you rub shoulders with all sorts of people. And there's a real togetherness and camaraderie, and everyone gets everyone else through it. And you know,
I really noticed that. When I did that triathlon in Abu Dhabi with my client, it was the first time I've ever done something like that, and well, at least a triathlon, that is. And you're right, it's the camaraderie. This is in Abu Dhabi in the Middle East. The camaraderie was just amazing. Really, everyone was greeting everyone else, and you know, they had the time. If they saw something, they identified something, they would come and give you a tip or some encouragement or something like that. It was really good.
Yeah, no, it's superb. And obviously, Paul, you'll know it from football and the type of, you know, camaraderie there. But trust me, this is just like on another level, because the self kind of satisfaction of crossing that finish line. Like, so on a 70.3, that's like 6 hours effort, just sub 6 hours effort, and crossing that finishing line, the exhilaration, it's just amazing. And to support your other team members, seeing them come through, clapping them in, you know, again.
So you're part of the club?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Even try.
Yeah, I noticed the branding. Yeah, quite evident. I think most people in the UK right now would be happy just driving 70 miles, let alone doing a 70-mile event.
Well, to put it in perspective, this is kind of like food for thought. We were in the Isle of Wight in February, weren't we? And we'd worked it out actually that if you jumped in the sea in the Isle of Wight and swam back to land, like Portsmouth, Southampton, and then you got on a bike and you rode back up to Romford, and then you ditch your bike and then you run to Southend, that is like completing the full distance Ironman. And then you think, nah. You must be bonkers. Like, but it is kind of, you just section it all off. And you
about one bit at a time.
One bit at a time, and you just chip away at it.
It depends on how many pubs you stop off at along the way, right?
Okay, so now I committed to doing a triathlon. You should find out what I did last week when I committed to do something else, far more, and that was to run in the World Masters.
Oh, okay.
But at an old age.
Okay.
Not yet.
Right.
Not now. Later
Not
on.
now. Okay. You're gonna get super fit between now and then, right?
Yeah, another 20 years or so. Have you given it?
So doing triathlon, because doing the three disciplines rather than what I was doing was probably just really running, odd bit of swimming, but obviously a weird style of swimming that was not front crawl, and obviously not been on a bike for years. All of that has made I'm the fittest that I've ever been from doing all three rather than just running. Well, then I obviously stopped running because it hurt my back too much. And then so doing the three is better than doing one.
And your strength. You will know from football like how fit. You know, I mean, let's say I only packed football in last season, and I've always maintained a level of fitness, but it's all been like football fitness.
Yeah.
And my footballing weight has been consistently about 14 and a half stone roughly. Since doing the triathlon, I've just consistently been around 13 stone 4 or 5. So I've lost a stone, and I'm just like, where's it gone? Like, because you know, I can't necessarily see, but Sarah's obviously kind of noticed that, you know, you're just more toned. You've got this. You're probably a little bit stronger. You're carrying less unnecessary fat, I suppose. But yeah, it's amazing. The swimming, especially, the swimming is fantastic.
Well, the great thing with the triathlon is that you're working all these different energy systems as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, as Paul touched on earlier, you're working different muscles. So it's not just the muscles, but it's the energy systems.
Yeah.
And it's that's what really I respect triathletes like yourself and anybody else that does triathlons on a regular basis, competitive level, because it really takes a lot out of you. You know, most people don't realize that, but like you say, it's the reward when you've done it. You know, that feeling is just something different.
It is exhilarating, a real achievement.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up something on my phone while you're talking. I'm not being rude.
I have a question for you guys. I come from a background where I used to be a surfer. Okay. Yeah. Where I grew up. So for us growing up, and when I was in my 20s and teens, if you had a girlfriend, or if you're a girl that surfed and you had a boyfriend, it was very important that you did it together, that you surfed together, because surfing takes a lot of time. You know, you're out in the sea for 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's regular. It's not you don't typically go for a surf once in a month or once a week. You know, as soon as you finished, you clock off from school or work, you're out in the surf and you're there the whole afternoon. So just explain to the folks that are going to be watching this in terms of that bond, that relationship that you build as a couple doing triathlons. What does it have on your relationship, and in terms of just the deeper level kind of stuff?
I'd started this for like me learning to swim, but I knew that he would absolutely enjoy this. So it was persuading Mark to try something different, because he's always been football and said, I'm fit for football. And he's got a few friends that are cyclists and has always sort of taken the piss out of them for being in Lycra and what have you. And so it was, come on, Mark, just try it. You're like this. And then whenever I've gone swimming, he's done like 1 or 2 lengths and never really enjoyed it. But it's been, why don't you do the event? And I knew as soon as he did an event that he would be hooked on that. So it was, wanting Mark to sort of enjoy that with me. Obviously, the only thing with that is that very first event, I think I was slightly quicker on all 3. No, you were quicker in the run. That's it now. He's like, he's got longer legs, his strides, we just go out for a run and his stride's bigger than mine. So he's always going to be better than me. So it's not about competing with each other, but it's actually training together. We went out last Sunday, this week, and we've gone out for the day, taken a picnic, and we've done 90 mile, and we're chatting away, going through nice villages. It's just that sense of training together. Obviously, we're not training together all the time. We like to do that together
throughout the winter indoors.
And it does take a lot of your time. So doing it together, otherwise I'd be out all the time and each other. So exactly how you said that.
We've got the 2 bikes in the other room set up on the turbo trainers indoors, and literally that's been our winter sort of regime. We've got on the Zwift and just been like riding with the music blaring together. Do an hour and a half indoor training. But it is doing it together. It's been there to support each other, because some of the things I've entered when Sarah was injured, Sarah's supporting me. And this year we had stuff we'd plan together, but then stuff we'd plan separately. But I would support, she would support me. You know, just to go away and do like a cycling weekend or something. You know, we're forever just adding little bits into the calendar together, like, you know, a cycle sporty, 100 miler. You know,
and I think being older as well, we're able to do that, because where we've got sort of the kids, my daughter's 17, Mark's son's 20, nearly 21. And we share them, so they go to their other parent. But it means that we've got a bit more disposable income, but we've got that time to be able to sort of know we can do that together. So it's by being that you find that there's a lot more older people or younger people doing it. It's that middle range where but when you've got younger kids, it's a bit more difficult to fit that in. So this has sort of become such a part of our lives now, and the club and the friends that we've made as well.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we as a club, we go out to Club La Santa at Lanzarote every March. Literally, this year was our kind of start of the training for this season. And the day we land was the day Spain went into lockdown. So as soon as we got to Club La Santa, the gates closed on us.
I think I remember that. I think I remember seeing that on Facebook.
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of didn't happen for us. But again, you know, what a great experience going out there and doing, like, you know, all the club rides together. It's just a great club. You know, we have our awards ceremony at the end of the year, and again, I don't know how well into triathlon you know, but the number 2 in the world lady is Lucy Charles Barkley. Well, she's an honorary member of Havering Triathlon, and she did our presentations for us. So yeah, and again, you know, we raise money for like Havering Mind and other local charities. Do a lot of fundraising, so it's all good.
Excellent. All right, just last thing. Fuel.
Yes.
Always a favourite one of mine. What do you eat before you go on a triathlon?
We've always eaten sensibly, right? But we don't track what we eat. You know, like where you know, like people that bodybuild, they weigh things and they count calories and everything. Like, none of that at all. Just sensible eating.
This is a hobby for us, so we want to make sure that we're eating well. We know that we need to hydrate before an event. So I did a half marathon with met up, socially distanced of course, but met up with a friend on Friday morning and did a half marathon. I knew I needed to be hydrating the day before and eat well the day before, so that when we met at 6:30 to go out and do a run, I was right. So it's just about making sure you know that you're eating right before and a good few days leading up to it. But to be fair, every event that we've done, we've sat down, had a really nice dinner, and we've always had a glass of wine as well. You know, we've had one, you know, we've not sort of gone mad, but we've sat down and gone, you know, I actually just feel like I can relax. So we don't deny ourselves. We know that we need fuel. We now know what we need on a long journey. So if we're out on the bike, we know what we need to take with us in terms of gels, if it's food, what we have, electrolytes and drinks, especially when it's really hot. So it's knowing what you're going to do. You need to prepare for that and not wing it. But we eat well. We eat plenty of fish. We're not sort of vegetarians or vegan, but we will eat that type of meal when we want to.
Who doesn't like a curry? Who doesn't like a steak?
Oh yeah.
So, you know, everyone will say ideally chicken and fish, like white meats, fish are better than your red meats and that. But you know, if you want a steak, you know, steak, don't you?
But you don't want to curry before a triathlon, that's for sure.
No. But yeah, so it's kind of like your carb load, wouldn't you? The last up to a distance event.
Just quickly before we wrap up, as I think Paul's getting angsty, but
No,
I used to work in a hotel where I grew up. So when I was in my 20s, early 20s, I worked in a hotel, and we have a very famous ultra distance marathon that runs in South Africa between Durban and Pietermaritzburg.
Yeah.
And Durban is it's a Comrades Marathon.
Comrades, yeah.
Two Oceans is in Cape Town and that. So, but we used to have a lot of the participants staying at a hotel. So if the run was starting in Durban and ending in Pietermaritzburg, then we would have them staying overnight for the last 2 nights prior to the marathon or whatever. But they were coming to the pub the night before the marathon. Many of the participants, carbo load on pasta and then beer. So they would have, each of them would have maybe about a bowl or two of pasta and then maybe 1 or 2 pints of beer, and then go straight to bed. So that was their carbo loading.
Yeah.
It's
look, the science was very different in those days. This was in the early 90s, so the science was very different.
You think like proper sportsmen and women have clearly got their nutrition nailed and own proper diets. You know, we eat sensibly. You know, we're just doing this because we really enjoy it. And so, but we've worked out what we need to do to be sensible. And you get so many tips from, you know, talking to different people, talking to people in the club that have done short distance, longer distance. It just gives us the tips, and you try it. And some things work, some don't. But you know, we're quite sensible.
Yeah, one of the hardest things to prepare for is most of these events start at the crack of dawn. So you're not used to getting up so early.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
You've got to be down there and kind of like, you know, be ready to kind of like, your bike will have been racked the day before, but you've got to like get all your bags there in the various transitions, and you know, so you're kind of find yourself getting up. Your alarms go off at like 4 a.m. and then it's so difficult from the night before to, you know, that you've got all this coming up to get a proper decent sleep because your mind's wearing, and you know, and that's the hardest thing to prepare for, because whatever we do at a weekend, even if we're going to do a long thing, it's, you know, the earliest you might get up is like 6, half 6 or whatever, but you're fine because you're used to doing that, but you're not used to getting up so early. And the fact that it is a big main event, you don't sleep, or you knock yourself out in the middle of the night trying to go to the loo, as I once did.
We didn't knock himself out; it just dashed his head.
Yeah, wooden beam at the hotel.
Well, it's a little bit better than Paula Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Just one last thing. A book recommendation or an audio book is I don't know if you watched it. I just got it up on my phone actually. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
No, not heard
David Goggins was a Navy SEAL, and he used to do all these ultra runs. He did triathlons as well, but unbelievable what the training he went through.
Yeah,
worth a listen or a read. David Goggins.
Yeah,
lovely.
Yeah, so not if you're doing it as a hobby, maybe you don't need that type of really ultra inspiration, but it is a really good read as long as you don't mind a bit of swearing.
Yeah, well,
because it's
all part of the game.
Yeah, I know. So, Warren, have you got anything else you want to ask at all?
No. I was just enjoying listening to them talking about their anecdotes, but I just wanted to add quickly is that the advice that you gave, don't discount the fact that it's just for you, it's a hobby, because that's who most of the people that are going to be watching our show are. They're doing things as hobbies. You know, it's not professional athletes or aspiring professional athletes. You know, at least not now. Maybe once they start doing something, they may become aspiring. But
you never know.
Yeah,
and that's
your advice has been fantastic.
And we're soaking that up from other people in the club and other athletes when we go to events. Just you get little tips from everyone all the time, because you know you're constantly learning on it. You know, there's little things in like, oh, I won't do that again, or somebody tells you something. What a great idea! Yeah, I'll remember that next time I do.
It's about enjoying it. We've we've just enjoyed it. You know, enjoyed learning to swim and getting out on the bike. I absolutely love riding my bike, and especially when the weather's so nice. And then running,
running is your means to finish and cross that finish line, and that's all I'll say about the running. I love the swim and I love the bike.
I'm the same as you guys. I love the swim, I love the bike, and but the running is just
But when you're at an event and you've got people cheering you on, it's like doing the marathon, or when you watch all of those events, when you've got people on the sidelines shouting, it makes such a difference. And so when you're doing an event,
you enjoy the run a lot more then. Training runs aren't nice.
That's why you want to do it again and again.
I can see that.
So we'll see you at the next one then, Paul.
Well, I don't know about the next one, but I mean, obviously I'll discuss it with you and, find out about events and different things. Because obviously I need to, because I'm one of these people, I do have to plan it. I'm a planner.
Well, you've got plenty of time because there'll be nothing this year.
Yeah, I know.
The next year, we'll find you a nice sprint distance to do.
Yeah, a nice short distance one. That'd be good.
Eton Dorney, you can't go wrong. It's a nice, easy one, well organised.
What one? Sorry?
Eton Dorney.
Eton Dorney.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So,
And afterwards, there's a really nice garden centre just a couple of miles down the road where you go for something really nice to eat afterwards.
Oh, well, that's more important.
Posh.
You want to throw the name in there for a little bit of advertising, maybe?
I can't remember the name.
Don't know the name.
So nice.
Don't know whether we'll find it again. But we were told about it last time, and it was nice. Yeah.
All right, great. All right, well, we've been going 42 minutes, so I best call a halt to it. But thanks very much for coming on.
You're welcome. It's been fun.
And I now know a lot more about triathlons than I did before. So, and committed to one as well. So fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hit the end button. So thanks very much again. Stay on for a sec, and we'll speak after it.
Nice to meet you, Warren.
Cheers.
Likewise, Mark, Sarah.